Okay, I've got it. Right. Okay, once again, welcome all. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. This is a quick lab on content management in SCCM 2012 Release 2. The things that we'll be covering, we're going to be covering a few things on, well, basically, we'll be creating distribution groups. We will be distributing content to the new distribution group that we've created. We will add a new distribution point to that distribution point group. We'll also configure the distribution point properties. We'll add new distribution points to an existing distribution point group. What else will we do? We'll be monitoring the distribution content to the distribution point. We'll validate the health of the content on a distribution point, and we'll also associate a distribution point with a collection and validate the automatic content deployment. We'll also implement a pre-stage content on a distribution point for offices that are away from the primary site server. So to reduce network traffic. And then the last but not the least, will be converting a standard distribution point to a pool distribution point. Then last, obviously, we'll have a quick view on report of the distribution point client usage. So that pretty much covers what we'll be doing. And I'm going to jump straight in by showing you a few things. Well, I'm just going to show you the packages that we're going to be working on in the um, primary site server. So if I just show you that now. So as you can see in the software library, if we go to the application management, under applications we will be using these applications. We'll be deploying them to distribution groups, associating them to collections, and we'll also be playing with these two packages in the packages workspace. So that pretty much is the only thing that has been configured on this machine on the primary site server. Also, we will be using this client managed computer, which is called Client One. We are going to convert this Windows 7 operating system computer to a distribution point. So this is just to show that you can use a client machine as a distribution point or a server as a distribution point, as long as you've installed the you've made it a site server. So what we're going to do now is we are going to start by creating a distribution point group and adding a distribution point to that group. So if we go back onto the primary site server and go back to administration and on the distribution points. First, before we do anything, I just want to show you this is the primary. This is obviously the primary site server, and this primary site server. If I just show you, if I go on to site configuration, this is the primary site server, and as you can see, it is a distribution point. So let's go straight on to distribution points. So that's the distribution point that I just pointed out to you, and now we are going to create a distribution point group. So we're going to call this AGK EMEA distribution points. So all the distribution points in the EMEA region will be using this as we'll be using this group. So we will add, obviously, the primary site server that I just showed you that is a distribution point as a member of this group. Okay, so that is complete. So if we click on that, if we show the members, at the moment it only has the primary site server as a member. While I'm here, I can just show you that for more information on that primary site server, I mean the distribution point, is that it has this amount of free disk space available. So that is pretty much covers how we can create the distribution point and distribution group and add a distribution point to that group. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to distribute content to that distribution group. So if we go back to the application, so if we go to software library, click on applications again. So first we're going to start with packages, and what we're going to do is that we're going to use the CCM framework tools, and if I distribute this content to the distribution group that we have just created, distribution. So click next. So what have we done? We have now distributed this application to the distribution group. Now we need to monitor the content distribution just to make sure that this has been successful. So if we go on to monitoring, and under the click on distribution status, click on content status, and if we click on the Microsoft, there you go. It's as you can see there, it has been successfully completed. So if you click on view status, that will give you more information. So as you can see, successfully distributed content to the primary site, to the primary one distribution point. Okay. Now the only thing I can do, I can go a bit further to show you on the monitoring here. So if I show you under the distribution points group status, it shows that it's been completed. And also if I go to the distribution point configuration stations, it shows you there that it has been done. So these are just different places where you can get information on the verification of that content being distributed. So now what we're now going to do is we're going to create a distribution point. Like I said, I'm going to use the Windows 7 as a client machine, which is a client managed machine. We're going to make that a site. We're going to make that a site, a distribution point. But before we can do that, we need to log onto it. So if I log onto it, and we need to give administrative rights to the. So if we need to give the primary one site server admin rights to this machine. So if we go to groups, and if we add object types, change that just to save us doing a search. We need to obviously choose the computer because it's a computer that we're doing, and we type in the primary, just leave it like that and do search. So we're using the primary one. So that now has administrative. So that now has administrative rights on this machine. Okay. So while I'm here, actually, I should point out to you. So if I go to services, I just want to point out to you that this machine does not have IIS installed yet. Scroll down. As you can see, we do not have IIS installed on this machine. This will be installed as we install the configuration, the distribution point, as we make it a distribution point. So with that completed, now we're now going to create a new distribution point. So to do this, we're going to log back onto the primary site server, and we will visit the administration, and here, if I just show you, if I go to the site configuration, sorry. So site configuration, you have two. You've got the sites and the server and site roles that you can create. So if you just go to sites for now, so that's the site, the site name for this environment, and we are going to add a new computer, a new distribution point here. So, but before we can do that, we need to first create the site system server. So let's create that, and here we're going to browse to clients. It's going to client one. site code, like as I pointed out to you already, is MCM. That's okay. Click next. No proxy. Okay, so we choose that we just want to have it as a distribution point. So this will install two roles: the sites, the sites system sites role, um, and the distribution point. For the distribution point, we're going to click install and configure IS if required by the configuration manager. Click next. That take the default. We don't want to do this. We'll configure the pool later. We don't want to do Pixie for Pixie or multicast. We'll show you all this later anyway. Um, for the boundaries, yeah, we need to add a boundary. That's the boundary that I showed you, which is the MCM site code. Click next. Yep. Okay, so that's all successful. Click close. So there you go. So if you click on the client, the new client shows here that it's a site system and it is a distribution point. So that's the two things there. Also, now I'm going to use this opportunity to show you. Let's go. So let's just go over those properties that we were given an opportunity to configure while we were making this distribution point, which I just didn't do. Uh, so you can enable like branch cache here. You can also enable distribution point for pre-staging content here on the general. Pixie is basically if you want to configure it to this distribution point to for imaging. Pixie supports multicast onto multiple machines, group relationships. If you want to add it to a specific group, content shows the content that it has. Validation to validate the content periodically. Boundary manage this you have to do when you are setting up the distribution points anyway. So, but you can create and add another one here. Scheduling basically it's about the critical times periods for restricted when data can be sent to this destination, and for poor for sites that have poor network connectivity, this is where you can limit the do rate limits, and for the pool and distribution point, this is where you can configure it. So that pretty much covers that. So if I just click OK to all that. Now, what I do want to do now is to add the new distribution point to the existing distribution point group that we have just created. So if I go back onto the distribution point groups and click on the right click on the group that we created. Before I do that, actually, just to show you again, show members. We just have one. So we just go go back to the distribution point groups. Click on the distribution group that we want to check the properties. Click on properties, and here is where you can add a new member. So we just click add and choose the new client that we've just done. Click OK, click OK, and that's done. Now what I want us to do is to jump straight into the monitoring, and if we have we're going to basically what we're going to do is to verify that the content distribution was successful. So if we go on to don't worry about this for now, because if we have a look if we go back onto the content, and if we go and have a look at, so so as you can see there, it failed, but it's showing that it's at 50, compliance is at 50% now. Targeted for two distribution points. Let's see. So okay. So if we have a look at view the status, this should have completed now. Yes, it has. So as you can see, it's now refreshed. It now shows that the content was has been successfully distributed to the client one machine. So let me just refresh this. There you go. So client one. So it shows that this has been distributed to both the client one and the primary one site server. So if we go back to content, you should now see, you will not see any failed information because it shows you the last the result of the last statistic status, sorry, so which is successful for two. Okay, so if we go have a look at the distribution group status now, everything will have cleared out and will be showing that it's now all successful. Okay, this is still showing that it's in progress, but with time it's going to refresh. Let's see if it will refresh while we're here. Let's go back again. So just give it a few more minutes. There you go. So everything is green, everything is good. We're good to go. So we have now verified the content of the distribution. Um, Also, what we can do here is that if I go to, I should be able to have a look at the details of the client one, and it will show you that the IIS has. It shows you all that we configured, and here it shows you that IIS was has been configured successfully and the successful distribution of content. And if we jump onto the client machine and if we refresh this page, sorry, I should have done that. So if we refresh this page, and we should see, there you go, and that's IIS installed. Okay, so um, now what we're going to now do, we would like to venture into monitoring content validation. So first we're going to distribute an application that contains a dependent application to the group. So first, before we so let's go back onto the primary site server, and we will go onto the software library. And if I just show you first, so if we go to applications, so application. So a few things I want to show you. First, for the Microsoft application virtualizations, if I click on properties, I just want to show you under the references that we do have PowerPoint and Word Viewer and PowerPoint Viewer for both the 64 and 32 bit. That's the only thing I want to show you here. But also, if we go into the view relationships and have a look at the dependency, it shows you that the application, that the virtualization desktop client will require either 64-bit or a 32-bit. Contains either the 64-bit or the 32-bit virtualization desktop client. So that is all I want to show you. But what we're going to actually deploy is the PowerPoint viewer. So if we look at the dependency here, you look at the dependency here, we're going to see that, oh, sorry. So for the dependency, so you got the PowerPoint viewer. This contains the PowerPoint viewer, which is dependent on the application, on the which is dependent on the desktop client, which also contains these two for the 64-bit version and 32-bit version. So, uh, so so basically that's the dependency that we're talking about. Now what we're going to do is that we are now going to deploy. Let's click on PowerPoint presentation. We are now going to deploy the content, distribute the content to a to the distribution group. So that's that. So we're going to the distribution group. So we choose the distribution group that way. Click next. Click next. And there you go. That's done. Click close. So now we are going to verify the content distribution. So if we go to the go to monitoring, and there you go. You can see it's already. So let's go back to content, content status, and choose the content status for the PowerPoint viewer. It's still doing something. So PowerPoint viewer, as you can see, one is successful and one is in progress. If we go view content, actually, yeah. So in progress, distribution content. This one is in progress to the client one distribution point, but it's already successful in the on the private site server, the local private site server. So let's just wait for it. So this might take a while while it distributes the content to the primary site to the client one machine that we made into a distribution point. Let's just refresh that again. Yeah, there you go. So that now shows that it's been successful. There's nothing left in the progress. So it shows that it's successful for both the client one and the primary one distribution points. So let's just have a look here. As you can see, we everything is now green. So now what we're now going to do is that we're going to manually corrupt an application. Please do not do this in a production environment. This is just for illustration. And what we're going to do is that we're gonna corrupt a file, and then we're going to repair it. So let's do that first. So we go to the client one machine, which is now a distribution point. And if I go to the C drive and click on the SCCM content library, I'm not going to go into all the files and going through everything. But if we just go to the library, and if we click on D304, we will see that there are three files here. Now this file, this 9KB file, does not have an extension. So we're going to corrupt it by renaming it and making it a text file. So we're going to call it text. So we're going to corrupt it by just rename it into a text file. As you can now see, it's now changed to text document. Now what we're going to do now this is corrupt. We're going to have a look. We're going to have a quick look on the we're going to validate the content health of the distribution point, and we're going to see that this file has been corrupted. So this is actually the meta file for the PowerPoint viewer that we just created. So let's log back onto the primary site server, and on the so so if we go back to administration, and if we click on the distribution points, so if we click on the client distribution point and click on properties, and on the content, if we sorry, if we under the deployment, we click on the under the deployment packages. If we click on the PowerPoint viewer application that we've done, and if we click validate now, it's going to click on. We just click OK, click OK to that. So now we have validated this. We have validated the health of this application. If we go on to the monitoring, we will now see the result of this PowerPoint viewer is corrupt. So if we go to content status and click on the PowerPoint viewer, click on view status. There you go. So you can see we now have it. It's now showing that there's an error. So click on error. It says, double click on it. So it says, so there's the manifest XML file that it's saying that it's missing. But yeah, basically because we've changed it into a text file. So it says that. So what we're now going to do is that we're going to repair the corrupt application by redistributing the content, and what we will see is that it's going to add the file, but it won't actually delete the text file that we've modified. So if we click close and go back into the administration, and if we click on the distribution group and click on the properties of that, and under the content, click on the Power Viewer and click the PowerPoint Viewer and click Redistribute. So redistribute, click OK, click OK. So now if we go back onto the monitoring tool, and we just give it a few minutes to work on this. So let's give it a few minutes. There you go, showing that it's in progress. So another thing I want to point out is that you can redistribute just to a particular distribution point or to the group. So it depends on you. If your network traffic is poor, you can. I will advise you obviously to just do a redistribution to the faulty distribution point and not to the group. So just keep on refreshing this. There you go. So if we click on success now, you can see now it says that if we just click on the client one, okay, so it's still processing information, but as you can see, so the content was distributed. So basically, we now this shows that everything is well, shows you that everything is green, And if we go back onto the client content, we should have 100% on everything, on 100% for the PowerPoint viewer. Okay, for other compliances. Okay, so um, so what else did I want to show you? So that basically validates the status of the content that has been redistributed, and we have now confirmed that the compliance is now at 100%, which is what we want. Um, just to show you, if we jump back onto the client machine, as you can see there, the new 9 KB file has been created called file, and as you can see, the one that we modified was not deleted, but it just added the new file that was missing. Okay, so that pretty much covers everything about corrupting and redistributing the content. Now we're going to associate a distribution point group with a collection. So if I go back onto the primary site server, so under the administration, what we're now going to do, we are going to choose the properties, sorry, the group, and under the group, if we go to properties and under content, sorry, under collection, if we add the collections here, so we're going to use the device collections for the configured manager clients, configuration manager clients. Okay, that's good. So click OK. Okay, so that shows you that the collection association is now one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to distribute content to the distribution group point via its associated collection. So if we go back to the library, and if we now first, let's go to the library, go back to the packages. So for the packages, if you look at the CCM frame tools, you should be able to. Okay, so you can see that there's success is status of 2, but if you click on the DCM, the success is 0. So what we now want to do is that we want to deploy this just to the to um, the collection that we just set it to, and well, that's surprising. I was expecting. Okay, sorry. Here, yep. There you go. Configuration manager client collection, and click next. Click next. And click close. So now we're going to verify that the content distribution to the distribution points associated with that collection. So let's go back onto the monitoring, and let's have a look at the Microsoft authoring. So there you go. As you can see, obviously to the primary site server would be done immediately, and it's taking its time so to the primary site server that's done immediately, and in progress is distributed content to the client configuration distribution point. So we could wait and wait for this to complete. There you go. So as you can see, nothing in progress at the moment. But on the success, it shows you that that it was successfully distributed to both the client one and the private one distribution points. Now, we're almost getting to the end of the labs. The last things we're going to do is the pre-staging and the pull. So, for to configure a distribution point to be for pre-staging it, the content for if you have a poor network. If we just go back onto the administration and on the distribution points, if we choose the client one distribution point, and if we go to the properties on the general, you could see enable distribution point for pre-stage content. All you need to do is to click that and click OK, and that's done. It's as simple as that. So we're going to verifying a normal content distribution does not complete to the remote distribution point. So that's what we're going to do by clicking on the software library, and we will click on application, and on the mats. Sorry, application. Let's click on the mats. So we are now going to distribute this content, which will not be sent to the which will not be distributed to the um, the distribution, not distribution points, to the to the distribution uh, client one, because that one is pre-staged. So we're distributing it to the group, but even though we're doing that, it will only successfully be done to the primary site server. So do that, click close, and if we have a look on the monitor, go back to monitoring, content status, and for it was the mats. So click on the mats, view status. So as you can see on this success, content was distributed to the distribution point primary one, but for the it's still in progress, waiting for the pre-stage content for the client one distribution point. So what we're going to do now, we are now going to create we're now going to create a a a pre-stage file, and then we're going to extract it. So to do this, we get software library, and let's go to the mats, Microsoft mats, and deploy. Okay, not deploy. Create the so on the mats, we are now going to create the pre-stage content file, and we're going to browse to where we want it. We want it on the local drive, and we're just going to call it mats. So that will be saved to the roots of C. Obviously, you can do this to a USB drive, or to an external disk, or to a yeah. So that's relative. So let's just click that. Click next. And the distribution point that we're going to use is obviously the primary one machine, site server. Click next. next, and close. Okay, so if we go and have a look at the C drive, there's there you go, that's it there, that's the file. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to import the pre-stage content on the primary site server. Okay, enter that. Perfect. So now let's validate the content distribution status. So go on to the go back onto the primary site server, and there you go. As you can see, it has already shown success too. So as you can see, nothing is no longer in progress, and this has been successfully deployed to the two distribution points, client one and primary one. So now the last thing that we're going to do is just basically to convert a regular distribution point to a pool distribution point. So to do this is we go back in the administration, and if we go back to distribution points, right click on the primary primary one, and remove the enable distribution point for pre-staging, and we are going to set this to enable distribution point to pull content. So click on play. We're going to add the available distribution points to be pulled from is the primary site server, and click apply. Click OK. So the priority is set to 1. You can reduce it or increase it if you as and when or as you need. Click OK. And that's done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to distribute a content to the source distribution point. Sorry. So under the software library, if we just go on to the click on application management. Okay, where are you? PowerPoint, no, Word viewer. That's the last one. And if we just distribute the content, and this time we are not going to use the groups. We're now going to do just to the primary one distribution point, which is the primary site server. Click next. Click next. So this has now completed. This is now completed. So if we go to content status and click on the word, so it's still in progress. Compliancy is still 0. View status. Okay, it's now successfully. Nothing is in progress. It's now successful, and let's go back to content to see the compliance is now 100%. Now it's now 100%. Sorry, it's now 100% and has been completed. Now what we want to do, it's now deployed to one of the distribution points. Now we want to distribute the content to the pool distribution point. So under the back, if we go back onto the distribution wizard in the administration, so sorry, not the distribution, so in the software library, so if we go back to the word viewer, and click on deploy distribution content, and we want to do, click that, next, and we want to put distribution point to the client. Click close. Now that this has been said, if we go to monitoring, Word Viewer shows that it's in, and if we click on view status, that will show us. The only thing that I can't prove to you is to show you that this is actually pulling the information from the primary site server. I've never been able to figure that out, to be honest. So it's going to say that it's successful. This we should change. Distributed content. Just want to see. Well, it's going to be successful, but I don't know how I'll be able to prove that this got the. Oh yeah, there you go. Pool distribution points. Perfect. So this shows that it's downloading the content. Downloading the content from using the pool distribution point technology. So just do a few refreshes. That's completed, and that's successful. So that shows that the software has now been is now on the client one distribution point. I wasn't sure that I was going to be able to prove to you that that was using the pool. Then the last, but not the least, is still on the monitoring. If we go to reporting, there's not much that we're going to do here, but it's good that I show you about the software distribution content. So if I go to software distribution content, and if you click on the distribution point usage, that is the distribution point usage. This is the popular one that is used. Okay, so there you go. As you can see, for the client machine, for the actually what I should have chosen was for the primary one. There you go. Yeah, the primary one gives us more information because it shows what has been done for the past. This is done. I'm not sure why this is showing the 25th. It should be the 26th. But anyway, I think I'm done. Okay, so I guess I'm done here. We've completed all that we set out to do. We created a distribution point group, distributed the content to it. We added a new distribution point to it. We configured distribution point. We configured distribution points properties. We added new distribution points to existing distribution point groups. We monitored the distribution of content to a distribution point group and point. We validated the health of the content. We associated a distribution point to a collection. So I think we have pretty much covered everything. We also converted a standard distribution point to a pull distribution point. We did pre-staging of content, and I just quickly showed you the reporting of a distribution point, distribution point client usage. So this covers everything that we set out to do. I forgot to mention that Canada was here and he was monitoring the calls. Um, After a few days, we will post this on YouTube, so you can get to review it, and hope you all the best with your with your deployment. Speak to you later. Cheers. Bye.